I am 24 years old. I'm about 17 properties in. Been in real estate for about 3 years. And I'm going to tell you guys how I got my first 5 properties, no money down. But yeah, let's get into it. So got my little list over here, keep everything straight. You know, my first deal, I actually did an entire video about 5 minutes long or something like that, just diving into my first deal. You know, it was just subject to mortgage assumption. You know, one of my favorite methods to get real estate is, you know, just tell everyone, you know, hey, what's going on? You know, I buy houses. So if you ever have a house you need to sell, an extra house, or if you want to sell your house, or you know someone that wants to sell a house, let me know, because I buy houses. And if you just, you know, confidently and calmly tell that to everyone you know, eventually they'll tell that to people they know, or someone they know might want to sell a house or something, you know, and eventually you're going to run into people that want to just sell houses to you for, you know, discount for whatever reason, you know. Maybe the house needs repairs, maybe there's squatters in it, maybe, you know, who knows what happened. But for whatever reason, you know, distressed or motivated sellers will eventually come your way, you know, is the goal. But yeah, so that's how we got this first house, you know. It was a referral, you know. One of our clients we did marketing for was like, hey, yeah, my neighbor has a house they're trying to get rid of. We went and talked to her. We went and did a subject to mortgage assumption, which is something we can teach you guys about in some future videos. But basically, the lady had a mortgage for $35,000. The home was worth around $70,000 as is. We signed some paperwork, you know, went to the title company, and it was a done deal. We took over her mortgage, took over the house, and we started paying the $300 a month or whatever it was. Put a little bit of elbow grease in, maybe $1,000 between me and my 2 business partners. And we ended up selling it for around $65,000 and profiting around 30 grand on our first deal. Each got a quick 10K, so it wasn't too bad. I think it took around 2-3 months for the purchase and rehab and closing to all go through. But yeah, it was a pretty good first deal, you know, no money down, obviously. Second deal, I was looking to get into my second deal after this, you know, and in the same kind of light that you could say, hey, you know, what's going on? I buy houses. Once you start doing houses and getting a track record, you're like, yeah, you know, I just flipped this house and made $30,000. Eventually, you know, people that you know or investors are going to come to you and say, hey, how could I get into this? And that's when you have to have a plan and be ready to take on investors to get real estate with them. So that happened to me. You know, I was telling a few people I knew, yeah, I'm into real estate now. I did my first deal, you know, no money down. We made 30 grand. Someone I knew, you know, came to me and said, hey, I'd like to get into this. You know, could we do this together? I said, yeah. You know, basically how we go about it is I'm going to find you the deal. I'm going to operate it. I'm going to do everything. You never even have to see the house if you don't want to. We're going to use your credit. You're going to get a loan and put around 5 to 20% down. You're going to cover the down payment, and we're going to use your credit to get a mortgage on a property that I find. Obviously, you sign off on. And then they're going to put the down payment down, and if the house needs any repairs, hopefully less than 10 to 20,000, then they're going to cover those repairs. And after that, you know, you can operate the deal and split the profits 50-50. That's what I did. I was looking for a while, and eventually I was able to find a property on market that a realtor just, it was bank owned, out-of-state bank, so that's a plus. They weren't even in the state. They called a random realtor to list this house, and this realtor took pictures on their phones. They were blurry. They didn't even picture the backyard or the garage. So basically, a couple things fell into place correctly that this listing was sitting. And I was looking at all these houses. I'm like, all right, let's go look at this one. I get into this house, you know, it's in a good school district, so the rents are a little higher. It's on the edge of a good school district, so that's a plus, you know. Always check the edges of nice school districts that, you know, neighbor school districts that might have lower square foot values, because some people might not look on the edge of a nice area. So you can find some deals there. Definitely something I would suggest. But I looked at the house, you know, and after looking at it, oh, it's a carpet and painter, you know, it needs carpet and paint. We always like that because it might only need, you know, 10 to 20,000 or less of work. Nothing too complicated like plumbing or electrical. So saw the house, realized it only needed carpet and paint. I ran my comps. Okay, I think this thing's worth over 100 grand fixed up, you know, from what I know. We made an offer on the house, ended up getting it for $70,000. My investor was happy with that, liked the area. He put around, I think, 10% down on the house. It was, I don't know, around 7 grand after fees. And, you know, when you get a mortgage, there's always financing fees. That's just the name of the game. If you want to get a mortgage, that's what you got to do. You got to pay the bank their cut. But it was around $11,000, yeah, to get the mortgage done. The house closed. We had to put around another $5,000 into the property. I think, you know, it's basic carpet and paint stuff. Our mortgage was only, I think our mortgage payment was around, see Giuseppe? Cool. Our mortgage payment was around, I think, $600 a month. And then after we put the $5,000 in, I ended up renting the property for, I believe it was $1,600 a month. So then we were cash flowing $1,000 a month. The investor got $500 a month. I got $500 a month. They were getting a good ROI. And then after we rented it out for a year, the tenants moved out. We ended up pulling a cash out refinance on the home. Pulled a cash out refinance on the home, got it appraised for around $120. We pulled another $27,000 out of the home in equity, so that didn't require money from my investor or me. After we pulled $27,000 on a new refinance, we took that money, re-updated the entire home, did some bathrooms, did the kitchen. And then after doing that, we did not rent it again. We ended up deciding to flip it. And we ended up selling it for $160,000. So after we got cash flow for a year, we ended up both, he got his cost back, everything was paid off. And then we both made $25,000 after all fees were said and done, just from the flip on the back end, not counting the rent. So another really good creative deal. You know, I brought an investor in, we both made good money. I operated it, he put the financing and the capital down. And that was a good no money down deal. That was my second deal. My third deal was, Gladway Drive. Funny enough, that's why I said Gladway V1 on the time I was talking about it. On my Gladway V2 deal, we got another house we were looking at. I was looking at auction, bank-owned properties again, because my last, house was bank-owned, so that worked out. A bank was auctioning off this property for, I think the starting bid was $70,000. We said we weren't going to go over 95. I looked into the house, and funny enough, from being in the game of real estate, this was a neighboring house to the first house we ever flipped on Subject 2. And we met this neighbor. It was a nice lady, and she actually asked us to come in and help move a piano. So we were in this house before, helping this lady move a piano. Fast forward another year, or 8 months, whatever it was, she's foreclosing on her house. It's about to go underwater. It's getting auctioned off. When you buy a house on auction on the internet, you usually don't know what the inside looks like. So that can be a disadvantage or a con to buying auction properties. We had the advantage in this situation. We've seen the inside. We know it's a nice house. So we're like, you know what? Based off our comps, we think the house is worth at least $150K. It's in a nicer part of the town, so it can rent for a good amount. Let's just try to get this for around 95, and we'll have around, a 70-75% equity position, and we'll be able to get good monthly cash flow. So we went ahead, and same kind of situation. We were able to find an investor who put the money down, and we went 50-50 with them. Same situation as before. We tell everyone, hey, we buy houses. You build your track record. I say, hey, I've done 2 houses now. I've made very high, ROI, good returns on both the houses I've done, and then someone comes to me and say, hey, I want to get into real estate. I want to do this. I have financing. I have capital. I say, okay, sounds good. So me and my partners brought in other investors on it, and we ended up getting the house for $102,000, I believe, after fees at the auction. So we went a little bit over our price, but we were pretty confident. So we stayed on it, got it for $102,000. And just like we thought, we got into the house. It was best condition house we've ever seen. Had all brand new appliances. They cleaned it out for us. It was in perfect condition. So we got in the house. I took pictures on my phone, listed it for rent on Zillow. And after bringing in an investor to put the money down, going 50-50 with them, we were able to rent the house out for $1,700 a month. And that's still a rental we have. And it's now appreciated to it's worth around $190,000. We got it for $100,000. And from the rents, we've almost paid it off, I think around halfway. So that's been a good high ROI rental that our investors happy with getting cash flow. We're happy with getting cash flow. So that works out good for them, good for us. Our next one, once again, we had an investor. Someone came to us, hey, I want to get into real estate. Okay, we'll find a deal. So we're looking, word of mouth, someone we know says, oh, I have a house on campus, and actually, I think this was door knocking. We're knocking on a bunch of doors in the area, and we end up connecting with someone that one of my partners knew from a friend of a friend. And there's a local college campus by us, and it's pretty hard to buy housing right by the campus, because if you can get that, it's very easy to rent out. College kids always need housing by a big university. So, that was an angle we were looking to get. Our investor wanted to kind of get into that too. So we were looking, and we meet this guy. He said, hey, I have this house right on campus. I'm looking to get rid of it. It needs some work. We said, okay, we'll check it out. We check it out, end up buying the house for, I think, $60,000. Our investor puts, I believe, investor uses his credit. He actually uses a loan. He puts about 5% down. Ends up being, after fees and stuff, we have to put 10K down, I believe it was. The investor puts the 10K down, uses his credit, and then we go in on the house with him 50-50. Once again, just like a similar situation. And that is a rental we still have. We ended up having to put around $5,000 on our side, I believe, and another into fix-ups. But other than that, we've had no money in this house, and it's been renting out for $1,800 a month for 2 years now. The investor's happy, we're happy. It's worth around $140K, you know, as is. It's cash flowing, so we have around $70,000 or $70,000 to $80,000 in equity in the home, and it's cash flowing, I believe, $800 a month. So, you know, our investor is happy. They're getting cash flow. We have equity, you know, so that's a nice deal we have there. That brings me to my fifth deal. Once again, as you could probably guess, investor money, no money down. Because of our referral game, that's why I just keep telling you guys, tell everyone you buy houses, tell everyone you buy houses, tell everyone you buy houses. Another referral comes to us, and they say, hey, my dad's a lawyer. One of his clients, they got this house and they inherited through death. They don't want it. Okay, well, let's check it out. We check out the house. We're looking at it. Okay. Basically, he wants $70,000. We run our comps, run the comps. Okay, fixed up. It's worth 140 to 170 range, but it does need some work. You know, the kitchen's gutted, the bathrooms need some work, needs new carpet. We have people that reach out to us, like I said before, because we tell everyone we do real estate and we make money off of it. Obviously, we've never had a deal we've lost money on, so we have a positive track record, which is how you can sell investors, which we'll talk about in future videos. Private money is king. Private money is great. You know, private equity real estate is how you get your money rolling and just grow a lot of wealth. So that's what we really want to just teach you guys and help everyone get on so they can get their first real estate deal. But finishing off this last deal here, because I'm just going to talk about my first 5 deals I did with no money down. We're looking at Penny Lane. Is in a nicer area, a nice city over from us. And then once we realized it was worth about 140 to 170, we ended up, you know, just paying them the $70,000 they wanted. It was a fair price. One of our investors came and said, yeah, I want to put all the money in, all cash. We'll go 50-50 on the profits, and that's it. So that was a nice deal for us. We had no money in. We just had to operate the deal and bring in all the contractors, pick all the fixtures, pick all the flooring, all that kind of stuff. You know, make sure it got listed, sold, fixed up correctly. We acquired the property for $70,000 around, and we ended up having to put $25,000-$30,000 into it. Just doing carpet, you know, updating the bathroom, updating the kitchen, painting the outside, different stuff like that. After we put the money in, we were in the property around $102,000, I think it was. And then after that, we listed it, and a month later, it took about a month, we got under contract, and we were able to sell it for around $160,000. So that was a good situation. After selling the property, I think we netted around $60,000 after fees and everything. And from that, you know, we pay the investor back. They got their $30,000 back. They made a 30% return on their money in 4 months, and we got our $30,000 for operating the deal. Everyone's happy. Another really good example of, you know, creative, no money down real estate. But yeah, that's how I did my first 5 deals, creative real estate, no money down. And that was about my first 1.5 to 2 years. I did my first 5 deals. And pretty soon I'm gonna be telling you guys about, in, you know, year 3 and 4, how I did my next 10 deals. So yeah, looking forward to telling you guys about it, and stay tuned in, and we're gonna be showing you guys the journey. Thanks.